Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a small market update as we have tried to break to 60k, but we're seeing some slight corrective moves intraday. We're going to discuss that on this beautiful Sunday. But before we're going to do not forget to subscribe to this channel beneath and also follow me on Instagram, as today I'm doing a Q&A on Instagram where I answer most of your questions if I got enough time. So what do we see and what are we going to see with Bitcoin? Let's just describe what the current chart is showing and what we can expect more from here. Back in the day, we used to have weekend pumps, which were quite, well, let's say, you had to be cautious during those weekend pumps, as usually they just retraced fully. And currently we see this entire chart here with Bitcoin, in which we see that the recent breakout and recent movements are with low volume. The volume is still draining down, which means that the strength is a little bit out of the markets right now, while the FOMO is insane. So we just keep it relatively bullish in a way that otherwise I'll be shut down again on social media. What do we see? We do see that we've made this breakout above the recent high at 57k. However, are we seeing continued strength? That's the overall question, as when you go back into the overall construction that we had in the previous breakouts, as you can see, they continued running heavily, which means that they did not come back until that level until a further correction occurred. In that regard, this breakout is a little bit odd, but we're going to discuss the crucial levels to watch, and I would also argue to watch anything of these constructions in which we also had a breakout to the upside which failed. So we do break above 58k. We did make a new all-time high, but what do we have to watch? Well, when we go towards the lower time frames, we can see that we've got a very nice construction. We have been discussing these levels that were critical to hold, and those levels move upwards as they progress. So we discussed that this entire region here was critical to watch for support. We continue to bounce us up, and now we see that the entire region at 57k, which is essentially the range high that we earlier discussed as the final resistance zone, this region has to hold to avoid being a fake out to the upside. What I mean by that is that once you break up, you can see it in the entire construction, the previous resistance zone becomes support. So this region around 75k has to hold 57k to avoid any further downwards breakdowns, as this has been happening here in the entire construction as well. So to continue this momentum up, you want to see this previous resistance become support. If that happens, we can see further strength towards 68k. However, we might be getting some bearish divergence here. We might be getting into a little overextended moves to the upside. All debatable, but that's currently hanging on the fact whether we hold this level around 58k. So if we do hold, we can use Fibonacci extension, and from there we can start constructing continuation targets, which is at 68k. So if we do hold this level at 58, I'm assuming that we'll be seeing continuation to 68. But if it's a failed breakout, which might be the case, we have to discuss that in the coming week or coming days, maybe coming week, then we're going to break back into this range construction at 54. Then we also have Ethereum, which is a beautiful example of those critical levels to hold as well, in which we did hold the 1400 level, we did hold 1550, and after that we started to continue grinding, after which we discussed that this previous resistance zone around 1700 has to become support once again. We did, and we see that we've made a new run up, through which we are currently at an 18.5 and facing the resistance area again, as this is the final block before new all-time highs. Overall, the construction is still fine as long as this level around 1700 remains support. So imagine we get something like this, everything is fine and the price could continue running. But if we get a bounce towards 18.5 and have weakness and test the support again, we might be going for further consolidation in this entire construction. So I would love to say to you to avoid becoming bullish at resistance, as that's usually a recipe to go wrecked. Then the final chart that I would love to bring up today is the Ether Bitcoin chart, as there's massive FUD surrounding Ethereum at this point, but I think Ethereum is going to be a very nice investment opportunity if the market is consolidating and Ethereum is heating up again. For that entire construction to play out, we have to watch this green zone. Might go towards 0.265 as the final hurdle of support. If either of those hold and we start making a compression, you should be eager to watch for the position on Ethereum, as Ethereum is most likely going to have a new impulse wave later on, and there's enough to gain on that one. So that's my small market update today. I hope you enjoy your Sunday and your weekend, and I'll be back tomorrow with a fresh new one.